This is the Harmonic Empire Xiao Qiao, and I thought this was just another set of IEMs in this price range. That's a good level up for most beginners. But the more time I spent with it, the more I realized that this is actually a surprisingly good sounding set of IEM. So I started doing some digging, and it turns out that this brand that I've never reviewed before has collaborated with the folk at Tangzhou, which goes to show why it's tuned so well. So these are semi-open back IEMs, and they are surprisingly good for a lot of reasons. Thank you to the folk at Headphone Zone for making this review possible by sending me this demo unit. All thoughts and opinions are my own as always. So let's jump into the unboxing and how this is built. These IEMs come with a very fancy looking box, and they do come with a very nice premium feeling unboxing experience. I've experienced unboxings like this with products that are at least 4 or 5,000 rupees more than this. So it's really impressive that they're able to do this level of quality for IEMs that sit in this price range. So moving on, what you do get in the box is a small sheet with a whole bunch of stickers on it, which is pretty cool. I think my daughter will enjoy those. And then you do get a very smart looking carry case. This is again something I've usually only seen in more premium products. And it does have its brand sort of really etched into this very nicely. It's a very smart looking box. And within it, you will get the cable. Now, the cable I have for testing has the 3.5 termination on one end, and the other side is, of course, the 0.78, which is standard. And you also do get a little keychain in this carry pouch as well, which is pretty cool. And then you don't get just 3 sets of ear tips, you get 6 sets of ear tips, one with standard silicone and the other is called a liquid silicone. I find the liquid silicone to be much more comfortable, and it seems to create a slightly better seal than the standard silicone ear tips, which is nice to have. Now, one thing I will recommend is if you are somebody who enjoys balanced outputs, if you have a DAC amp that has a balanced output, this does come with that option. So this is the 3.5 mm, but you can get a 4.4 as well, and you also do get this in a purple variant. This, of course, is the orange one. In fact, something that threw me off was when I was testing these, my wife walked into my studio, saw these and said, "Oh, it looks like KTM's making IEMs now," which I found quite funny because it is a very pretty orange, no doubt, but you can get it in different colors. So moving on to the overall fit and finish. Well, the cable, of course, is a very nicely finished one. It does have the orange accents on it, which is a nice welcome. I do wish that this came with a swappable connector, but then again, I guess that is reserved for the more premium IEMs that can do that. But this is a pretty nicely done cable. It is some sort of OFC, of course. I think that's kind of standardized. But I do like that they've marked the right and left with these colors. R for red, R for right, standard, which is practice. So it's nice that they've done that. And then when you move on to the IEMs themselves, they've got this very industrial sort of look to them, at least on the faceplate. And you can see the meshing that is on it. This is some sort of a semi-open back design. So it's cool that you can see it. It gives it a little more dimension when you look at the faceplate. And of course, it does have a whole bunch of writing on it. One says right, one says left. And then it does have the Xiao Qiao sort of writing on it. I can't see what's written on this, but hopefully my camera can pick up the rest. And of course, the Harmonic Empire sort of branding over there at the bottom. And the rest of it is this sort of resin enclosure. The housing does have this resin enclosure. The faceplate does appear to be some sort of metallic finish. And then the resin enclosure, of course, does have a few openings here. I do presume that this is also for some sort of venting. Now, this does help to a certain extent with staging and bass response, no doubt. But I will speak about the sound in the sound chapter. And then, of course, like I did mention, the ear tips I am using are the liquid silicone, which are much nicer looking. They do feel a lot more comfortable, and they do seem to cancel out a lot more noise passively. So it's definitely a more comfortable set to use, and it's nice that they've included it within the box. And then moving on to its comfort, I'd say the comfort is pretty good. I've not really had issues with this. If you see, the nozzle doesn't stick out too much. It's sort of medium. I have used IEMs in the recent past that have very long nozzles. Those I find to be a little uncomfortable for my ears, but this is pretty comfortable. It's sort of got this short nozzle. I think for most people it'll be fine. But one thing you have to keep in mind, it does have a pretty broad nozzle. It's not the narrowest one I've seen out there. So if you do have sort of shallow ear canals, that's something to keep in mind. But all in all, I have not had any issues. I usually have issues with some IEMs or earphones with my left ear because I do have a smaller concha there. But this seems to fit perfectly well without any of those issues. This comes with 10 graphene dynamic drivers, has a frequency response of 20 Hz all the way up to 20,000 Hz, and a very easy to drive low resistance of just 9.8 ohms. So it's pretty easy to drive these. I mean, you could breathe onto the cable and you'll drive them. And then because of that, it's pretty sensitive to volume jumps. So I have been using this with the RZ550, which is somewhere here. It's a neat little DAC amp with 3.5 and a 4.4 balanced out, and it works pretty well. It's become my go-to DAC over the recent past. And this is, it drives this very easily. So I'm sitting at maybe 20%, 25% volume for everything that I'm really listening to, for all sorts of genres of music. The minute you start going to, I'd say 30% with this DAC amp, it tends to open up a bit more, yes, but it can start causing fatigue for me. When I start sitting at 30, 35, things are a little too loud for me there. So if you do intend on listening to this beyond, say, 40, 45% over prolonged periods of time, even with, slightly less powerful amps than this, or DACs than this, DAC amp combos, I'd say don't do it for too long if you intend on preserving your hearing in the long run. And then moving on to its soundstage. Well, the soundstage, I have to say, I think it's at par with everything else that's in this price range. Yes, it is a semi-open back design. Yes, I did expect it to have a much wider space than a soundstage than I expected it to. But it's kind of at par with everything else in this price range. It does sometimes give the illusion of, some tones coming from a little out of the IEMs, maybe an inch out. Yes, there were times where I thought something was, coming from outside of a room while I was gaming. And when it comes to gaming, I was trying out Squadrons, Star Wars Squadrons, and there's a lot of whooshing of TIE fighters or X-Wings going past from various angles. It doesn't really give you the experience of an open back set of headphones, no doubt, but it does have some moments where things do seem like they're happening 6 feet away or so on, but it's extremely rarely. So I wouldn't say pick these up if you're expecting, terrific soundstage like with an open back set of headphones or speakers that are well placed, but it is pretty good for what it does. There is a sense of a vertical stage, but I'd say that's more around your ears than it is in the phantom channel. But again, terrific left and right separation, especially with well recorded tracks if you listen to good music. And then when it comes to its imaging, I think this is where the open back stuff helps, or should I say the semi-open back. Because there's a certain openness to its overall detail with a terrific sense of refinement. A set of IEMs that sit in this price range, I think it can genuinely, stand up to a lot of products that are, or should I say IEMs that sit in a higher price range with this overall detailed recovery. Detailing on this is absolutely sensational. At the same time, the layering, the sort of the way it splits everything in your music. If you're listening to orchestral music, you can so very easily tell, or zone in on the cellos, to the violins, to the flutes, to the saxophone, to the bass, to the chimes. Everything is just so beautifully separated. It's quite unbelievable that this is able to do it so well and effortlessly, being the main word over here. In fact, when it comes to, if you look at trying to focus in on certain things separately within the high frequencies, easy to do. Multiple percussive instruments to whatever else you want to listen to in that range, very easy to distinguish between certain elements and nuances. It's sensational the way it does it, even in the mids and the lower frequencies. So for imaging, I'd say 10 points, man. This is absolutely top of the notch when it comes to this price range. And then moving on to its, well, I usually don't talk about timbre for more affordable IEMs, but I have to with this because that's one thing that really stands out with this set of IEMs. The realism that these are able to sort of push out through these IEMs is genuinely something I thought you'd only expect in IEMs worth 8, 9, 10,000 plus. And this is genuinely very good with realism for most of the spectrum, be it instruments to lower frequencies and so on, except maybe for male vocals. So let me just quickly jump into highs, mids, and lows. Well, highs are definitely accentuated to a certain extent, and it's able to do. In fact, the thing is, one thing I've always said in all my reviews is, a lot of brands have been shifting onto BA drivers for high frequency response. And part of me feels like a lot of people are doing that as a safety measure because it's like the BA driver is not capable of being piercing because there's a little reed working over there. This has a dynamic driver. So it's with dynamic drivers, it's a swing or a miss sometimes. You can tune it too aggressively and it'll pierce and cut through your ear, be fatiguing. Nobody really likes that. This is like it's got the subtlety or the should I say the supple delivery of a BA with that little bit more of detail and accentuation in the high frequencies. So it gives you that amount of energy that is missing from a BA driver. This sort of nails it when it comes to its overall delivery there, and it also does carry on over air pretty well. You know, the echoes, reverbs, and all that sort of stuff, provided you are again listening to a very good track. Moving on to its mids. Now, this is where it really blew my mind. Now, it's been a while since I mentioned music, but I was listening to a track by Stella Cole. She's a new artist and she's got a very Judy Garland kind of style in singing, but beautiful new recordings, beautifully mixed and mastered. I'll leave that track down below for you. Now, the track specifically was Till There Was You. It's a beautiful old piece. You must listen to it and see if you like that. But the way everything has been sort of presented through these IEMs really left me wondering how it's possible to get this level of realism and just overall musicality when it comes to the overall song. It does it genuinely very well. So one thing I will say about this is it does female vocals very well. There's a beautiful amount of energy here. There's a certain amount of enthusiasm here. I wouldn't say it's tuned in a way where it's in your face forward. There was some IEMs that I've heard that are more expensive that are very in your face. This is not that. It's sort of slightly stepped back, but at the same time, as nice as female vocals sound, male vocals tend to sound a little bit dull compared to these. They are not as enthusiastic, and I'm talking about lower voices. Nat King Cole does not carry as much enthusiasm with these IEMs that I think others will do better with. But if you shift on to vocals that are slightly, higher pitched in the sense they've got higher range, the male vocals that are not tenor basically, the second that they are, singing much higher, the range is much higher and they're not as sort of, in the diaphragm singing or, carry that vocal tonality, then they have a lot more enthusiasm. Then they have a lot more sort of presence when it comes to their overall delivery. But so this is the only real issue I found over there. Separation between any instrument here and vocals is beautifully done. And the thing is, it's when it comes to its overall imaging, even here, it's not like the IEM is trying hard. There are some IEMs that just almost struggle to, or they sound like they've been tuned to an extent where the manufacturers, overcompensating to make it seem as if they're giving you more detail. This does it quite effortlessly. And then moving on to the low frequencies, well, to be very honest with you, if you're a bass enthusiast, don't look at this. It's not for you. I think a lot of people won't like this because it's not bass centric. But I'll tell you why I like it. Now, I've spent a lot of years amplifying choirs. I've spent a lot of years amplifying, drums, pianos, upright basses, violins, horns, or reeded stuff, you name that, brass and everything. Now, the thing is, if you've heard an upright cello, and I'm talking about a good upright cello, not some cello made in Meerut. If you've actually heard a good cello up close and personal in the flesh, you'll sort of start to understand the trueness of what that tone should be. And if you like that and if you prefer that, when you listen to it on your home system or wherever, you're not going to want a 2.1 stereo system, you're going to want a 2.0 because that's going to be a much more natural delivery. That's exactly what this does. This gives you a very true tone of what bass should be, and in the process, because it's doing that, it's a lot more natural sounding. It's way truer to what an instrument should sound like, especially when you're talking about upright basses or kick drums and all that sort of stuff. These instruments do not necessarily push down to 80, 40 and 20 hertz and so on. They exist a lot higher up in the frequency range. So this does it, I'd say very accurately, and because of that, it's very tight in its overall delivery. So if you throw things like EDM, anything with exaggerated bass, you're going to feel like you just need that much more. This is not tuned to give you those exaggerated low extensions. It does do lower frequencies well. It extends low enough, I'd say, if you're into more natural sounding stuff. But the minute you start throwing, really low frequencies at it, it almost doesn't exist compared to what is there in the market. Yeah, there are some IEMs out there. For example, the OD200, the Oriveti is just one of the best sounding I've heard when it comes to its bass delivery. And by best, I mean what people will like. A lot of newcomers, if they can afford that, they're going to fall in love with that immensely. But this, I'd say, is more for the audiophile, where you're looking for a lot of realism and a lot of truth. So to sum up real quick, this is a very funky looking set of IEMs. I really do like the way they look. And I really did want to try out the orange finish, because usually a lot of these products look spectacular online, especially if they're very vibrant in colors. So I did have my sort of doubts about how good this would look in the flesh, but it does do justice. Up close and personal, it is a very nice looking set of IEMs, even in this color. Comfort wise, it's great. Cable wise, it's good. But one thing I will recommend is it does come in a 3.5 and a 4.4 option. If you are somebody who wants slightly tighter detail, better, or should I say, slightly better defined highs, maybe slightly, I wouldn't say sharper, it's just slightly better defined with a balanced, tighter bass response, and so on. The benefits of balanced. If you're into that and you have the hardware to drive it, get the balanced version, because I have been using an upgrade cable. I have tried it out with 3.5, and I must say the stock cable is pretty good. It's surprisingly good for a stock cable. It's definitely very well constructed, and it sounds good as well, even with the 3.5. But the 4.4 balance does have its benefits, so keep that in mind. Sound wise, I'd say, I like that they've not played it safe. There are some IEMs I've seen that just go absolutely batshit crazy with tuning it, a little too tweaked here and there, and they take risks. And there are people who just don't take any risks at all, and it's a very safe tuning. This, I wouldn't say, is a very safe tuning. They know that the masses aren't going to like this. They've not pushed for heavy bass. And I mean, after realizing that Tangzoo's been involved in this, I can understand exactly why it's been tuned the way it has. They're definitely catering to the audiophile, and they're giving you sensational value for money in terms of sound, especially when it comes to the price range. Yes, it's not as bass heavy as a lot of people will like, but it carries tremendous detail. It carries all right staging, but the beauty is in the timbre. The beauty is in the details, the nuance. It's genuinely superb for the price that it's being sold at. So if you do plan on buying this, well, at the time of recording this video, you can buy this, of course, on Headphone Zone. At the time of recording this video, it's being sold for about 6,499 rupees, and of course its MRP is 6,999. Now I do know that Headphone Zone does have some sort of a Black Friday sale going on right now. I don't know how long it will go on for, but even if you were to buy this at 6,999, I think the fact that it's it's so evident that just I've not even compared it with other IEMs just yet, but the fact that it's so evident that it's terrific with naturality. No doubt, I did do my burn-ins and all for, I think, this time I did a burn-in for about 48 hours. But the fact that it sounds like this without comparing it to anything else does say a lot about its tuning. So, I mean, if you guys do want any comparisons, do let me know about that. I'll try and work on those before I head off for my holidays. But anyway, there you have it. That is my quick review on the whatever complicated name this thing has. But yeah, it's been by the Harmonic Empire IEMs, Xiao Qiao, or whatever it's called. And I do hope that I've given you a better understanding for these IEMs, of course. And if you do want to support the channel, I'm sure you know exactly how to. But of course, thank you for tuning in for some sound advice.